Hello, it's me Pavlo, and if you remember, some time ago I did a review for the HiBy R6 Pro second generation. And during the work on that review, I had the feeling that it's one of the best price to quality ratio devices on the market. And today I have a similar feeling because I'm reviewing the new entry to the HiBy lineup, player that they called R4. And as you can easily understand, it sits somewhere in terms of all features and other stuff. It sits somewhere in between R3 and R5. Both offering great value, and this one is also pretty interesting. So it's Android player, it's built with Snapdragon 665 chipset. It has 3 gigabytes of memory, 32 gigabytes of flash, supports microSD cards, of course Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and stuff like that, 1080p screen, up to 11 hours of battery lifetime. In terms of audio, here used 4 9018 C2M chips and OPA chips for the amplification. It features class A amplification and delivers 165 milliwatts for 32 ohms load single-ended, or 525 milliwatts for the pentacount balanced. But what is the main catch here? It's actually price. It costs, I didn't believe it, it costs $250, and in my opinion it's superb value, and actually it makes competition in the affordable segment even tougher. Actually, HiBy have their own sub-brand HiBy Music that offers HiBy Digital that offers M300 player, totally different in terms of ideas, but it's their main brand, HiBy Music, and here we're getting full-featured addition to their model lineup. So HiBy are famous for the few noticeable steps in terms of price to quality ratio. They redefined price segment a little bit a few times already, so let's see what we have here. HiBy investing pretty lot of time into design, and even on the box you can see that they creating really unusual things. Nice box, interesting package, pretty interesting combination of colors, a few shakes to pull this out, and here it is. So nice combination of bright orange and black, like classical. So I've got a black one, but they have a few other versions, like all 3 other versions made of silver aluminum with different color inserts. But let's postpone design tour for a while and let's go deeper. So besides player you'll get basic smoky silicone case, actually good accessory. For black one it doesn't change much, but of course for silver it will change tint a little bit. Here you'll get some papers and information, and also you'll get an extra screen protector, and one is applied right from the factory, which is really nice thing. I really appreciate companies that do so, because all mine attempts to glue this thing always fails. So, and USB Type-C cable. As you can see, accessory set is pretty basic, but you're getting a case. Actually, I expected to get some kind of wrist lanyard for this, because they have this loophole here. But probably it will be a separate accessory or something like that. So in terms of design, I really like that HiBy decided to go like anti-mainstream, and instead of making like regular players, they decided to experiment with shapes and deliver something unusual. So I'm a logical person, that's why I selected the most boring color combination, the black one. But actually some people like it strict. I just wanted to see the black one. I like this color. But 3 others are silver with different color inserts here. So case made mainly of aluminum. I really appreciate the level of machining here. You can see that everything is built really well. It's not super heavy, but at the same time you feel that it's made of metal. Absolutely zero rattling or shaking noise or something like that. So despite the budget price, quality is not compromised here. And it's a pleasant reminder from the times when players were small and pocketable. So you can see that it's like nicely fitting in your hand. You can access all parts of the screen, so just great times. And even you can get a wristband for it. So here we have a micro SD slot and two volume buttons. So in the affordable model, HiBy decided not to use an encoder. On top we have this lanyard bracket, and also we have universal toggle. So you can switch it back and forth, and you can assign the function for this toggle in the menu. Here is on-off button. Also it works of course as a screen on-off, and you can see here is a not really bright LED indicator here. Also 3 buttons for playback control as usual. On the bottom 2 outputs, single-ended and balanced, and USB Type-C port. As usual, you're getting a full set of features here. You can charge it, you can use it as transport, you can use it as digital to analog converter, and so on and so forth. Speaking about charging, I got up to 10 hours of work from the single-ended output and roughly about 8 from the balanced. Not like groundbreaking numbers, but pretty good, especially taking into account that it charges really quick. As you can see, screen is not like absolutely edge to edge. There are some free spaces on the bottom and on the sides, and it's not super bright, but in general I really like that it has decent viewing angles, it has good resolution, and also really nice touch. HiBy created different colors, themes for it that accompany the color. When it first boot up, you select what color of device you have, and you can toggle. So here is a theme for the black one. It's not contrast itself also, but in general I'm pretty satisfied with screen and how it responds to the touches. Player actually is pretty snappy and fast, thanks to Snapdragon used here. So in terms of design, I really enjoy it. Forgot to show you one great design feature. There are 3 diagonal stripes on this black part here, and it's not simple decoration. When you turn display on, they are slightly glowing. They are not bright, but it's such a small, neat design feature that shows that HiBy indeed paid a lot of attention to the design. And also I was a bit wrong about screen resolution. It's just 720 by 1280, not super resolving, but still pretty okay for this price tag. I won't be doing a deep dive into operation system. It's just Android 12 with HiBy additions. Center of the firmware, of course, it's HiBy Player. I described the HiBy Player tons of times. It's convenient device. Not device, software with tons of useful features, good media library organization, and so on and so forth. You can install all your streaming services you'd like. As usual, here in the drop down you can see some audio settings, and part of the settings is hidden in the settings. So here they are, separate part in the settings. You can select one of 3 anti-aliasing filters. You can select 3 levels of gain, which is pretty good if you're using super sensitive earphones. You can download and install plugins from the HiBy website. Actually, you can see there are like 5 different audio plugins to experiment with sound, and they work system-wide. MSEB also works system-wide, and it allows you to change, to adjust the sound by your liking, choosing different things like bass extension, for example, or sibilance, make it softer or crisper, and so on. Sometimes it's pretty convenient instead of tweaking equalizer. And speaking about the equalizer, here is parametric equalizer. You can adjust it to your likings, so you can see the operation guide, change what you'd like to see and how to work. DSD gain compensation, channel balance, maximum volume, MQA decoder if you need it, unfolds MQA up to 16 times, and SPDIF USB volume locks. And here is settings. I don't know, not in the about the device, but in system function key settings. So far it's either key lock or flip screen vertical. And indeed, in key lock, volume doesn't change. So not sure about the necessity of this toggle, I mean screen flip, but probably, yeah, here is a lock icon, but probably in the pocket use it can be useful. And as you can see, this message means that I didn't put any headphones, and players think that it works as a digital transport for now. And of course we need to talk about the sound, and you know my basic idea here when I was testing this player. First of all, sound is really good, even without adding for this price. Of course, it's not some giant killer or like flagship competitor, but it's really nice, fairly balanced sound, without any emphasis, without some additional coloration, but at the same time pretty musical. So, you know, like a really good balanced sound signature that doesn't try to be like super resolving or like warm or like mega punch or something like that. But I think that HiBy's main idea, and of course I can be wrong because it's just my assumption, that actually this player is created for those who want to tweak the sound. Taking into account that by itself it's on the natural side of things, but not too monitoring, and the fact that you have like parametric equalizer, MSEB, and even that plugins, you can tweak sound to whatever you like. And that gives you almost virtual endless possibilities in terms of tweaking and tuning. But let's talk about the sound when it's all turned off. So bass is linear, it goes deep, it has good control, not superb of course, and not on heavy to drive headphones, but with adequate load it delivers good control, nice punch, and pretty decent resolution. It's not super focused on the small nuances and details, but realism is nice as well as punch when it's necessary. But don't expect any coloration by default, it won't try to give you something like that, but you can achieve it by just moving one or few sliders. And actually here is the example, it's Wardruna, great example of Nordic folk in modern reinterpretation. A track named Wunjo, I suppose it reads so, quite likely it doesn't mean to be read in English. Anyway, it has nice, really good deep punches of the big drum, and that sounds really impressive. I also try it with electronic music like The Prodigy, The Antwoord, and other bands that I like. They're really good in delivering that deep rumble, but of course it's more a matter of loads that you will be using. And also not super realistic, not super rich in terms of nuances like more expensive players, but still giving you a good sense of realism for the natural instruments. Mid frequencies continues this idea of tuning, no attempts to be focused on the micro contrast. Resolution is adequate, it's not super resolving, but of course you won't be lacking any meaningful details and nuances. Nice amount of air, good stage, above average in width and in depth, not super spacious, but really adequately built, so it will give you, if it will be your first player, you definitely get that sense of properly built stage. It won't be super holographic or like mega spacious, but neat and accurate. It's not super critical for the quality of record, but at the same time it will give you that experience of trying different remasters, trying to find the better one, so better material will be a big plus. It has good dynamics, also not superb, but still really nice, and that all gives it gives you good emotion representation, nice instruments character, and it pretty great versatility in terms of music genres and styles. And actually here is an example. It's Metallica's Sad But True. Good amount of forwardness and attack for the drums, thanks to the good control of low frequencies, nice, pretty noticeable bass line, but at the same time not overemphasized, and guitar riffs really sound engaging as well as vocal. And the treble, it's basic, but it's nicely built. There is no extra emphasis on the treble, it doesn't sound too sharp, but at the same time it's not trying to hide the treble. Of course, it's almost zero layering here, but at the same time overtone saturation is really good. And actually treble extension is also pretty nice. It's not as truncated as some other devices in this price segment, so in terms of overtone saturation you'll get a pretty nice experience. But for more rich audiophilic treble layering and stuff like that, of course, welcome to yet another to higher segment. And in that higher segment we have great offer, I mean R6 Pro 2. So example here is pretty complicated. It's Caravan from the Whiplash movie. A lot of different percussions, lot of fast percussions, and all instruments are saturated with overtones. All that goes to the treble area. Of course, it's lacking layering to represent it fully at 100% scale. But at the same time, thanks to the good resolution on the treble and nice control, it doesn't sound harsh, and it sounds pretty organic, and it's pretty easy to differentiate different instruments and percussions and separate them and focus on any of these instruments if you'd like to do so. In terms of pairing, actually it's a pretty universal device. From the balanced output it can drive even full-size headphones. I'm not speaking about some super high impedance models or models with low sensitivity, but in general it really plays nicely with full-size cans if they have normal sensitivity. And with sensitive IEMs you getting almost zero background noise, which is also a really good thing. Speaking about the comparisons, actually there is no other players in this price range. HiBy Digital M300 is slightly less resolving, and in general I think it's targeted towards other segment. It has newer version of Android, it has built-in speaker, so it's more for the mass market audience, and this one is more for like audiophiles, or at least wannabe audiophiles, because here we having balanced output, more output power, class A amplification, which gives better dynamics, but slightly more outdated Android version. Here we having Android 12 and there is Android 13 for the M300. It's more natural than R3 that I reviewed recently, a bit faster in terms of sound, with bit more focus on the tiny nuances. And the last version of R5 I've tested, what was it? It's R5 2, if I remember right, or second generation, or maybe it was third generation, sorry, I don't remember exact generation. R5 is more focused on the micro contrast and slightly more resolving, so it's another step forward, but it's also pricier. And that's it. So I'm not sure what can I add here? It's just a really good player with surprisingly great value. If you want something with decent sound and you limit it on your budget, you're getting really universal solution. So HiBy really did a great job here. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.